So here's what CENTCOM said. We also have every reason to believe that these attacks, while launched by the Houthis in Yemen, are fully enabled by Iran. So the question is, why aren't we sending a stronger message to Iran?
The main reason is because we're trying to avoid escalating the war. I mean, we already have enough issues with just trying to keep the Israeli-Hamas war contained to Gaza. And the last thing we need to do is to be, quote, sending more messages to Iran, because Iran will almost certainly escalate if we do that. What America needs to do is, there's a great piece today in The Hill by Jason Beardsley of Concerned Vets for America, who says, look, we need to withdraw our troops from Iraq and Syria, because America is much stronger when we get to determine the type of engagement that we have, or even if, as opposed to what we have right now, where they're just sitting in the desert and easy access to these groups, which otherwise they would have no way to attack American interest. And it is not in our interest to go deeper in, to continue striking, especially into Iran, if that draws us into a war. Now, I will say, anyone who has attacked American forces should be responded to and killed, not just some message sent, but the people who actually tried to do it. As long as we're there, we have an obligation to defend our troops.
Yeah, that's kind of what Leon Panetta said over the weekend when he suggested that Biden wasn't being tough enough on these Iranian proxies.
We have to go in and hit those that are responsible for doing it. So I would be much more aggressive about going after those that attack our U.S. forces.
Do you think to date that our response has been too soft?
I think it's been a little bit too selective. I mean, we hit some ammo dumps, we hit some other targets. I want to go after those who are firing missiles at our troops and make sure they understand that when they fire a missile, they're going to die.
Well, 5 Iranian-backed proxies, or at least 5 members of an Iranian-backed proxy, got that message over the weekend. They were preparing to launch, as Jen Griffin was saying, a drone, and one of our drones took them out. So, I mean, we're getting a little tougher, but do we need to get a lot tougher?
The best thing for American national security is to remove the point of vulnerability so that we don't even have to worry about whether Americans are killed. But I do strongly agree that if individuals do take Americans under fire, no matter the circumstances, it should be those people that we go after, so that we actually destroy the people who are physically trying to kill Americans. That's what needs to be going after. And I do agree with him on that point.
All right. So back on October 25th in the Rose Garden, President Biden said right out, he didn't suggest it, he came right out and said that these attacks against U.S. forces have nothing to do with the war in Israel. Let's rewind the tape and play this out.
My warning to the Ayatollah was that if they continue to move against those troops, we will respond. And he should be prepared. Having nothing to do with Israel. Nothing to do with Israel. But listen to the Houthi military spokesman, Brigadier General Yahya Saree, who said the Yemeni armed forces continue to prevent Israeli ships from navigating the Red Sea until the Israeli aggression against our steadfast brothers in the Gaza Strip stops. The Yemeni armed forces renew their warning to all Israeli ships or those associated with Israelis, which includes us, that they will become a legitimate target if they violate what is stated in this statement. So this is all about Israel. It's got nothing to do with anything else but Israel.
It's never been. Now, we do periodically take attacks and have over an extended period while our troops have been there. And that's something we've had to deal with. But there has been a massive spike since the 17th of October, 10 days after this, the Israeli, response to the Hamas terrorists started. So, of course, it has to do. You don't need anybody to have to confirm that. It's self-evident that that's the case. And they've been saying nothing more. But I will say it's not a good look for the president of the United States to threaten that we're going to do something and then not do it. It would be much better if he just says, hey, we're going to reduce our vulnerability and do what's best for our country, but don't claim you're going to go do something against Iran if you're not ready to do it, because then that invites more attacks.